Welcome to the Park Drive Podcast. Can you believe it? We're already at episode number 4, and I'm here today with Bryant Thompson. And so, Bryant, we're going to get to know you. We've had a chance to get to know a few of our staff members so far. It's now your turn. So
Great.
We're going to just jump right in here and ask you some of the tough questions.
Okay.
So tell us about your life before ministry. I know that this hadn't been your everyday thing your whole life, so just kind of tell us, how'd you get here? What did you do? What did it look like?
I worked many years in the restaurant business, managing several different kinds of restaurants. And then I started also into construction and was a supervisor over several different construction companies. And that was before then. Actually, I grew up being a lifeguard, cut grass like all the other kids in the neighborhood. And that part was really fun, but I really cut my teeth doing in construction work. In mainly concrete construction, some framing and that type of construction as well too. But ran several different restaurants and learned a lot about managing people when I did that.
What would you say your favorite job of all those was?
I worked for a company out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and they treated me absolutely the best. It was a construction company that was doing concrete repair. And that was probably the most fulfilling kind of job that I had. And the camaraderie that we built within that group, several of those men actually started to follow Christ during that time. It was really a neat experience. And on our long rides, we would discuss scripture verses. We would discuss other questions that they had in the Bible. So that became a really high point in my construction part. I love being with that group. They were just so far away. Was my problem in Baton Rouge. So
yeah,
moved back locally.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we know you're married,
right? Yes.
How'd you meet your wife? Tell us the story of how all that kind of came together.
I hired her.
Okay.
How about that?
You may want to go into a little more detail.
Don't want to leave it there, do we? No, I was managing a restaurant, and she walked in one day and sat down and wanted a job application. I said, "Sure, fill that one out," and she did. And I really did hire her, and she worked for me for about a year. Now we never went out during that whole time. And then she got to where she was actually in school in Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama, and she got to the point that she didn't really need the job where I was, and she was getting more into her core classes. So she came in and she put in her 2-week notice, and I thought, now's my opportunity, now's my time. And then she came in on her last day, turned in her uniform, and then I looked at her and she looked at me, and I said, "Let's go. How about let's go out?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So, and that was that. And we continued to date from that point on.
There you go.
And we probably dated another 1.5 or 2 years, and then we got married. So, got married right there on an outdoor wedding at my mother-in-law, her mother's yard. Beautiful flowers were everywhere. It was a really neat time. So, but yeah, it's been a great life with my wife, Miss Donna. So,
well, that's a great story. Yeah.
Hired her.
They're all different.
Yeah, I bet they are.
So tell us, what do you like about Eastern Shore, about the community, about the church, etc.?
I've been here 27 years as a member and as working 22 of those years. And it's in a very central location to the people. That part is really neat. It's a growing atmosphere, growing community. And, we've just developed such a close relationship with many of the people in this area. Some don't go to church at Eastern Shore Baptist Church, but most of them do. Most of my friends are right here at Eastern Shore Baptist Church. So, and the proximity to all the other fun activities that are my hobbies, like fishing and, and nature and doing all the things like that. So that part's been really a blessing as well. And my wife got transferred down to this area, and I put in for a transfer and moved down with her at the same time, obviously. So, she is actually from this area, so having her parents right there in Stapleton is great, and we get to go up to to their house in Stapleton and visit with them quite often. Eat lunch with Mama Ward, so that's been a lot of fun.
Well, sound like it all was a plan from the beginning.
It was a plan from the beginning.
Like maybe God knew that this was a good...
exactly how this was supposed to play out. Exactly right.
Well, that's great. So you talked about you've been here a long time.
Yes.
What changes have you seen at Eastern Shore Baptist Church over these years?
Oh, the main one is technology. As any of you can attest to that's over the age of 50, the technology that has come to the church is quite amazing. When we've started off with a paper calendar that was on Miss Becky's desk, and if you wanted something put on the calendar, an event, you went to her office and she had this big calendar. It's probably 2 foot by 3 foot, and she would write in the event that you wanted. And then all of a sudden, we began to bring in computers, and the way that we eventually hooked our computers together with just their one single port, and we just plug into it and be able to have 2 computers on the same hard drive, basically. And then as we grew, we realized technology was here to stay. And then we began to grow that way. And of course, cell phones just really took over. It really became front and center several years ago. And now you don't go anywhere without your cell phone. So
right.
Technology in the church itself, and the way that things are stepping up in the music program, and the way that we doing these types of podcasts. That's a huge technological leap from when I started 22 years ago. When we just had walls and a sound system and lights, and that was it.
Right.
So,
well, now we got cameras all over the church.
Yeah, we have many cameras on here. It's hard to be at Eastern Shore Baptist Church if you're in the parking lot or the halls of the church and not be on the camera.
Yeah.
So we have that security system all over the church. So that's probably the biggest things that I've seen, the change.
Yeah, that's quite a change.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a change. Well, you mentioned a little bit about fishing. Tell us about your hobbies.
I love to fish, and I don't fish as much as I used to now. I've just moved into a new neighborhood, and Don and I are really liking our new house, and as we do different things around the house, but I will be back fishing a lot more. I have fished from Maine to South America and caught all kinds of different fish, and have certain fish I still want to catch, but I've caught a majority of them and caught some great big beautiful fish, and it's that part's been fun. That's been really probably my biggest hobby is fishing, and I have a lot of time tied up in it. So.
Well, I know you said you got a construction background. Are there things you like to build for fun, or is that more of a job?
I like to tinker with things in wood and do things like smaller things like that. Nothing that's great big like I used to, and go out and pour 300 yards of concrete in a day and that kind of that type of construction. Most of the construction that I do now is for around the house to make our tool shed better, make our places where we keep our things a little easier.
It's more of a have to.
It's more of a have to. It's a honeydew. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I enjoy doing it. Once I get into it, and like last week, I took probably way too many hours to repair a chair. So and that part was kind of fun. I had to do some construction in that, so that was kind of neat.
Well,
but it's still fun.
Well, it's good that you at least have the knowledge so you can fix these things when they do break.
Right.
Well, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and talk about what exactly it is you do at Eastern Shore. So we'll be right back. And we're back for segment 2 here on the Park Drive Podcast, episode 4 with Bryant Thompson. And so the first question I'm going to ask you here, Brian, is what exactly do you do at Eastern Shore Baptist Church?
I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of different hats. I answer a lot of questions from all day long, different questions. But my major responsibilities that are right now missions, and of course overseeing the buildings. The missions aspect is probably taking up more and more and more of my time. which is really good. We want to see the missions aspect grow. And actually, we want to see our buildings being used as a mission, which this is, as Stuart says, this is our biggest mission tool are these buildings.
Sure.
And so, in keeping them up to date and keeping them rolling to make sure that we're able to use them as we need. We have upward basketball that we are registering for now, and that's an 8-week time where kids we do the 5th and 6th grade breakout, and there'll be 8 different weeks that they'll come in and play ball, and the coaches are going through the devotions and prayer time with the kids during practice. And during those 8 weeks, we have 350 to 450 people come through the doors of Eastern Shore Baptist Church. And they sit down, and we have a devotion time with them at halftime as the kids go to their own private little devotions. So it's basketball with a purpose. It's a reason to bring these kids together. And we tell them about Jesus Christ. And we see a lot of amazing relationships that are built. We have a lot of really great coaches that continue to coach every year. And they develop that relationship with those young people. And we have our Harvest ministry, which is it's a smaller ministry right now, but it's one that I'm extremely proud of. We have a core group of people that love to go out and do this. We literally are in Lake Forest. We go door to door telling people about Christ, inviting them to church, praying with them in their front yards or even at their doorstep. We've seen professions of faith from it. We've seen many visitors. We have 2 visitors that are contemplating joining the church that have been a part, we have met on the Harvest missions. And we'll see probably around 100 families every month when we do that. That's a tremendous opportunity to bring them into the church and also tell them about Jesus Christ. I love Eastern Shore Baptist Church. I want everybody else to come and experience the same that I have been a part of. And then, of course, our second Saturday in Stockton. Stockton is where we go is not truly Stockton. It's the Vaughn area. And it's a very depressed area where food insecurity is real. Many hungry people live in that area all the way through many areas in that community that are very hungry. I've seen that rival what I have seen on missions in Haiti, and so that it's very sad. But when we bring them food, we bring them hope. And once a month, we're able to provide with them through the help of the Protestant Pantry and a partnership with Zion Fountain, which is a beautiful little church that we have partnered with. And they come to us, and we actually provide them 125 pounds of food every month, each one of these families. And we have brought up over 2 tons of food on those Saturdays when we take it to them. We do that once a month. If you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you come and help with us. But we do have a group of people that just really love to be a part of that. But we're always looking for new people to come and help with that. Also, we have tutoring in English as a second language. This is 2 missions that are very dear to my heart, and a lady named Brenda Taylor is the head of all that, and she is done an outstanding job. She spent 2 years in Paris actually doing English as a second language, and but when she's come home, we also bring in the tutoring aspect. We have 28 kids registered for tutoring right now. So we need more tutors. If you can do math, we need you, especially about 5th grade. But she has 10 to 15 probably every week that come for English as a second language. And in both of these, we have the ability, we have a time set aside where we tell them a portion of the Bible, or we read to them a section of Scripture, and we let them know just how they can become a follower of Christ in the middle of all that. So it's a neat time. And again, we're developing that relationship with people that we normally wouldn't have a chance to do. And that's what a lot of what missions is about.
Well, that's great. These are all just local right here in our neighborhood type of missions. So tell us about maybe some missions that are a little farther out, opportunities maybe some folks could join in on.
We have our Alaska mission trip, but we're still working on the prices of all the airline tickets. Y'all know that's kind of a tough subject right now, but we are seeing the tickets actually come down in price and become a much more affordable trip. But we are going to Alaska again in July. The 9th through the 14th will be the mission. And of course, if people want to stay later, we can make arrangements for that as well, because it is Alaska and it's a beautiful place. And, and I always tell people all the time on these mission trips, don't let price be the determining factor. If you want to go, the Lord somehow will provide that money. It's surprising to me. I don't think in all the years that I have been leading mission trips to Haiti or Paris or Germany or now Alaska or Vermont that I've had anybody not be able to go on a mission trip because of money. If they have done so, they haven't told me about it. So, and because we've always been able to find ways for them to either raise money or find ways for that donation to come in so that they can make that trip.
Yeah.
And we think that's so important. In missions, especially doing those types of missions, is even our local missions, it's much more than what we're doing for that community. It's what it does to the church itself. They go out on this mission trip and they develop this bond with each other when they come back home. I've been with Russ Wood several times on mission trips to Haiti, and we come back home stronger in a bond. And which with Russ, that's a funny way to say that we have that koinonia type of fellowship with me and him and the Lord in the middle of all of that. So, and that's always been an experience as well. And many people have gone to Haiti with me, and if it ever opens back up, I plan to go back. And if we can, the State Department will let us go back in. It's in a tough situation. They need our prayers. But we do have great relationships with many of the people that are still there. Pastor Mark, Pastor Paul, and of course Children's Hope, who we have an established orphanage there that we support and that we come alongside of.
Yeah. So lots of opportunities.
Yes.
Here and there and everywhere, and
yes.
God continues to open up doors.
Yes.
And we just follow wherever He leads.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Well, I just have one more question for you, Bryant,
Sure.
and that's what is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, I think that my most embarrassing moment was when I was asked to introduce a Gideon speaker one day in church. And I said, sure, I know that guy. And I got up to the platform and his name completely escaped me. And so I had to finally look down, and a couple of the church members started shouting his name to me. And so I said, hold on a second. And I got his name again and was able to finish introducing him. But that was truly, truly embarrassing situation.
It's pretty hard to recover from.
Yeah, you don't bounce back from that one. I'm introducing you, and I've forgotten your name. So that's not the way you want it. Not the way you want to start.
It happens, though. It definitely happens. It's right in the heat of the moment when those things they're just gone.
And for whatever reason, I thought, yeah, I got that. I know who that guy is. I know his name. And got out there, and his name was just I had no clue what his name was. So that was pretty embarrassing, to say the least.
Well, good stories for sure today.
Yeah.
And it's good talking to you, Bryant. I'm glad you came on the podcast. And again, this is the Park Drive podcast, and we hope that you'll like and subscribe and continue to tune in and hear more of what we got to share with you. So we hope you have a great day. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.